3 officers are on the shoulder of a highway helping the driver of a broken-down vehicle. Their lights are flashing, their vests are on, everything that is supposed to make them safe and visible to passing traffic. One of them glances back down the road, and what he sees makes him move immediately. A car is barreling toward them at full speed, with no sign of slowing. All 3 officers throw themselves out of the way. The vehicle tears through the space where they were standing just moments before and skids to a stop further down the road. The driver, 26-year-old Cedric Keith Henson Jr., was intoxicated. Miraculously, all 3 officers walked away, and no one was seriously hurt, though the vehicles on the shoulder took significant damage. There is a documented reason why this keeps happening. Impaired and distracted drivers tend to unconsciously steer toward whatever they are focused on, including flashing emergency lights. This is called target fixation, and it is one of the leading reasons why roadside fatalities among officers and emergency workers remain so high. A patrol officer is driving through Texas late at night when the vehicle ahead of him suddenly jerks sideways and brakes hard. The officer slows down to see what caused it, and as his headlights sweep across the lane ahead, he sees her, a woman lying completely still on the asphalt, directly in the path of traffic. He pulls over and approaches carefully. She is alive, disoriented, and barely responsive, but alive. It emerges that she had crashed her car into a ditch further back down the road, and in her confused state had wandered back onto the highway and collapsed. What is deeply unsettling is that by the time the officer found her, multiple vehicles had already driven past her in the dark. She had been lying there long enough that several drivers had come within feet of ending her life without ever knowing it. If you ever come across someone lying in a road, do not pull up right next to them. Stop well back, put your hazards on, and position your vehicle between them and oncoming traffic. Your car with its lights flashing is visible from a distance. A person lying on dark asphalt is not. There is something about the first clip that needs a closer look. After the driver escaped the man at the intersection, he tried immediately to warn his wife, who was following behind him on the same road. He could not reach her in time. She came around the same bend, saw the same figure standing in the same spot, and experienced the same attack. Think about what that means. The man did not run after the first car escaped. He stayed exactly where he was and waited for the next one. That is not someone in distress. That is not a random encounter. That is someone who chose that location deliberately, prepared a method, and was willing to repeat it the moment the first attempt failed. No identity was ever confirmed. No one was ever charged. The couple still has no answers. If you are ever driving in a group at night, agree beforehand that if the lead car is threatened or stops suddenly, the car behind responds immediately with the horn and high beams on full. Bright light and loud noise remove the one thing an ambush depends on: the cover of darkness and silence. A truck driver is moving through Calais when his path is suddenly blocked. Across the entire width of the road ahead, someone has laid down branches, thick enough to look completely impassable. Before he can react, men begin emerging from both sides of the road and closing in on the cab, hurling rocks, broken concrete, and heavy sticks at the windshield. The driver manages to force his way through and escape, but by the time he reaches safety, he is injured badly enough to need medical treatment. Items thrown through the windshield had left wounds that required attention. This was a documented tactic used in the Calais region, where groups would construct roadblocks to stop trucks, either to search for space inside the trailers or to take whatever cargo they could reach. Here is what every driver needs to understand. A roadblock built from branches and loose debris is designed to frighten you into stopping. It is not necessarily designed to actually stop your vehicle. Security professionals call it a psychological barrier. At a controlled speed, most improvised roadblocks of this kind can be driven through without disabling the vehicle. Never get out of the cab. Never open the window. If people are surrounding you and the barrier looks makeshift, you push through it. In the latter months of 2016, something strange began spreading across the world. People started appearing in public dressed as clowns, on roadsides, near schools, in parks, late at night. For some, it was about frightening strangers. For others, it went much further than that. One night in South Yorkshire, a family is driving home when their dashcam picks up a figure standing at the edge of the road ahead. A clown. It steps forward into their lane, stops, and waves at them slowly. Then it starts running directly at the car. The driver throws it into reverse and gets out of there while inside the vehicle, the children can be heard screaming. What began as a handful of isolated sightings had, by October 2016, grown into something that prompted the FBI to open formal inquiries. Arrests were made across the United States and the United Kingdom, not for pranks, but for assault, robbery, and in several confirmed cases, attempted kidnapping. Most people assume it was harmless. The record says otherwise. In most jurisdictions, using a disguise to obstruct a road or threaten occupants of a vehicle is a criminal offense, and drivers who take evasive action to protect their passengers are well within their legal rights to do so. Ralph Roletta had only just begun his shift. The man who climbed into the back of his cab was his very first passenger of the day. The ride started normally. The passenger sat quietly, head low, giving nothing away. Then, without any warning, he straightened up, produced a weapon, and told Ralph to hand everything over.
This is a robbery, man. Right, hey. Give me all your money, man. Man, I don't. Give me everything you got. Give me it now. All right. I need it now. All right. I can make this the easy way, or we can make this the hard way, man. Everything I got, man. Keep your hand where I can see him. I just started. What else you got? I just started. Let me see your wallet. Let me see your. I don't have anything in my wallet. We can do this the hard way, or we can do this the easy way, man. Let me see your wallet and let me see your phone. I need it all right now. If you don't want to die, man. Okay. Give it all to me now. Okay.
Ralph had no real choice. He complied. What the robber could not have known was that at the exact same red light, directly behind the cab, a police officer had pulled up. When the light changed and the taxi did not move, the officer stepped out to investigate. Within moments, he understood what was happening. The passenger was ordered out of the vehicle at gunpoint, taken into custody on the street, and later charged with multiple offenses. This one is different from everything else in this video. Not because of what happens, but because of the sound of the driver laughing just before it does. It is the middle of the afternoon. A woman is sitting in her parked car when a figure appears outside her window wearing a deeply unsettling mask. She can be heard on the audio describing it to someone, amused, almost entertained, treating it like something odd but harmless. According to her, there were 5 more men in identical masks standing just out of frame of the dashcam. Then her window caves in, and the laughter stops. The men proceed to take everything of value from the vehicle while she screams.
Are facing during the decline in the U.S. economy. The Internal Revenue Service may
Those are so creepy. Where'd you get it?
This may result in back taxes being reduced by thousands of dollars. An open phone line.
Where did you get them? Come here. What did you get?
Ensure your financial stability during this
How
decline.
much did you get in the car?
Take down this number now. 800-639-9690. That's 800-639-9690. If you owe back taxes to the IRS, there's no need to pay anymore. The IRS will not be accepting reduced settlements.
What happened in those few seconds between the laughter and the breaking glass is something psychologists call normalcy bias, the tendency of the brain to interpret a situation as safe because accepting the alternative is too overwhelming in the moment. Her mind chose the comfortable explanation right up until it could not anymore. A mask is not a costume. The moment someone conceals their identity in that context, the social barrier that discourages violence is gone. You do not wait to find out their intentions. You leave.